Today's review is sponsored by True Everything Bagels, the bagels that taste exactly like everything. Side effects may include your taste buds melting out of sheer confusion.
Watch it, Alan, I'm shooting.
Demons 2. A couple weeks ago, I talked about Demons, one of my favorite Italian horror movies. Please go check out that video if you would be so kind. And this week we're looking at the sequel, Demons 2. And just a quick heads up here, I had some difficulty ripping the Blu-ray to get some videos for this review. So I had to get some video clips by other means. So when we get to those parts of the video, you might see a watermark in the video. I do apologize for that. Also, I'm going to have some mild spoilers throughout this video, but I'll try not to reveal too much, so spoiler alert, but there's just some things I need to talk about. The first Demons is a fun, cheesy, gory horror film that takes place in a movie theater. A group of people have been invited to watch the premiere of this new, strange horror movie, and they all end up getting possessed by demons. It's got some good gore, some fun horror set pieces, and this awesome punk rock feel to the flick. Demons 2, once again directed by Lamberto Bava and written by Dario Argento, takes place in an apartment complex. We have this whole cast of characters going about their lives in this building. You have a young couple with a pregnant wife, you have a bunch of people working out in the apartment gym, various other people doing certain things here and there, but the catalyst for everything is Sally's birthday party. In the first Demons, the movie that everyone was watching in the movie theater had something to do with all the chaos. In Demons 2, the demons come out of the TV screen in this very cool effect. Sally, played by Coralina Cataldi-Tassoni, I know I butchered that name and I apologize. Anyway, we all remember her from Dario Argento's opera, but anyway, she's the first person to get possessed. The demonic plague spreads throughout this apartment complex. As you would expect, people cannot get out of the building due to supernatural means, and the body count rises. Demons 2 is a good sequel. It's a fun flick. Bobby Rhodes, who played the pimp in the first movie, comes back again in this movie playing a different character named Hank. He's entertaining to watch.
Get ready! Come on! Everybody behind the car! Defend yourself! Defend yourself!
And we also have young Asia Argento, the daughter of Dario Argento, playing a little girl named Ingrid. In many ways, Demons 2 improves on some of the elements from the first one. The makeup effects for the demons look so good. Now, I love the makeup effects from the first Demons. I think they're excellent, but the sequel improves on them a bit. I do miss the movie theater setting from the first movie. That was one of my favorite things about Demons, but of course I want the sequel to do something different, and the apartment complex is a good location. There's more going on in here. There's more variety to the different locations in the building, which allows for more set pieces. I'll admit that when it comes down to it, I do prefer the first Demons, but that's more of a personal preference thing. I miss the punk rock aesthetic that the first Demons has. Demons 2 still has a rock and roll feel, an 80s rock and roll feel, but it's missing that punk element to it. It has more of the feeling of an 80s music video than a punk rock feel. Now that's not a negative against Demons 2, it still has that fun aesthetic and that fun feel, I just miss the punk rock feel. I have to give this flick credit for doing a lot. Many fun set pieces are in this flick. Some of them echo the first movie, some of them stand on their own. There are a lot more characters in this movie, which allows for more to happen. There's a good suspenseful scene where one of the main characters is trying to escape from a demon in a stalled elevator, so he starts climbing up the cables with the demon right behind him. And there's a good sequence in the gym, and I like how they use the exercise equipment in this scene. That's what most of this movie is, a collection of set pieces. There are a couple moments that are fun, but the way they're executed makes them unintentionally adorable. Early on in the flick, we're introduced to this fluffy dog.
Come on. Davy, I forgot I let you out.
This being a horror movie, we get to play everybody's favorite game, when's the dog gonna die? But what happens is the dog ends up getting possessed, and it's gonna be hard to make this ball of fluff intimidating. But there are some good practical effects when the dog transforms into a demon. It's well done and creepy. But then we have these far shots where we see the dog chasing after his owner, and in some of these shots we see this prosthetic on his face. It's fucking cute. And then we have the scene that is a throwback to the first movie. In the first Demons, we see a demon hatch out of a woman's back. In Demons 2, we see the creature hatch out of a little boy. I gotta admit, Demons 2 does not hold back. This movie will kill anybody. A little kid not only gets possessed, but they also get mangled as a demon hatches out of them. The difference here is, in the first Demons, this creepy humanoid monster comes out of this woman. In Demons 2, it's a much smaller creature that comes out of this little boy. And it's fucking adorable. And then it starts attacking the pregnant woman, and the scene is very well done, it's well shot, the effects work is good, but this little creature just looks so damn cute, and it's making all these squeaky noises as it's trying to attack this woman. There's a scene where she's able to get away from him by throwing a towel over his face, and he's having trouble getting out of the towel. And the puppet looks adorable, especially when it's trying to get out of this towel that's been thrown over his head. I'm sorry, but I can't take a creature seriously when you can thwart it the same way you thwart a golden retriever. But my favorite set piece takes place in the garage of the apartment complex. The majority of the people are holding up in the garage, trying to keep the demons at bay, getting ready to fight the oncoming horde, and then the demons barge in and all hell breaks loose. There are people getting pulled through windshields, cars driving around running over demons, fire, bloodshed, explosions. Almost similar to the climax from Demons, where the guy's driving around on a motorcycle fighting demons with a samurai sword. This scene is nowhere near as badass as the scene from the first Demons, but there's still plenty of chaotic action here. It's a lot of fun. The problem with Demons 2 is the lack of focus. Admittedly, Demons 1 didn't have that much of a plot to begin with. Its focus was more on visuals and set pieces as well, but there was some focus there. There were main characters, and there was some form of story there, even though it didn't really matter too much. As fun as Demons 2 is, and as much as I appreciate that this movie does a lot, there is still a lot going on, and the movie does tend to be all over the place.
More seats! Keep that fire going!
There are people and elements and various points brought up in the movie that don't really go anywhere. In the first act of the movie, we learn that Sally's ex-boyfriend is coming to her party and she's not too happy about it. We keep cutting back to Sally's ex-boyfriend and his friends as they're speeding towards her party, and you can tell that they're a very rowdy, rambunctious group of people. We also follow Tommy's parents. He's the kid who gets possessed. They're worried about their son when he doesn't pick up the phone, so they're driving towards the apartment complex because they want to make sure their son is okay. And what happens? They end up crashing into each other, and their stories don't have any impact on the plot of the movie. So those scenes where we keep cutting back to them have literally no impact on the story. We don't even get to see the demons kill these characters. There were punk rockers in the first movie that didn't seem to have any point to the story, but they were still able to get into the movie theater and they got killed by demons. These moments in Demons 2 with Tommy's parents and Sally's ex-boyfriend and his gang could have been completely removed from the movie and it would have had no impact on the story.
Jacob! Are you alright, man? Jacob! Hey, man.
Regardless of that, Demons 2 is a solid sequel. It has fun set pieces, some quality gore and makeup effects, and while it doesn't quite live up to the first movie for me, it's still a solid sequel, and it even improves on some of the elements from the first movie. I may try to cover Demons 3 sometime in the future, but I gotta figure out which Demons 3 to talk about, because there are at least 3 movies that have the alternate title of Demons 3. And with that, let's get to the Grindhouse rankings. Just like in the first movie, the body count is way too high for me to keep track of. The kills consist of, but are not limited to, possession by demons, getting ripped apart by demons, falls to death, and an adorable demon hatching out of somebody's body. While I do miss the movie theater setting, the apartment complex is a good location. It provides more things for people to do. The gore and makeup are improved in Demons 2. While I still love the effects in the first movie, they are touched up here. There are plenty of fun set pieces, enough to keep you entertained. I miss the punk rock feel. This movie does have the rock element, but loses the punk. The movie does lack focus at times, and there are elements that could have been removed because they don't add anything. Regardless of that, Demons 2 still has good pacing and is always entertaining. I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5, just slightly less than the first Demons, but this is still a fun horror movie that's worth your time if you like the first one. As always, I want to thank all of you for continuing to watch and support this channel. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know your favorite horror movie sequel. This is the Maniac, here to remind you that the Grindhouse will never die. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think this dog is possessed by a demon.
La la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la.